All right, we're recording.
Okay, awesome. Hey guys, thank you all for joining us, and thank you, Casey. I'm going to introduce you guys to Casey. For those of you who don't know her, she's an absolute rock star on my team. She's just a dear friend of mine. I've known her, about 15 years?
Yeah.
A long time. So she's been involved in Isagenix for, I guess, about 5 years. She's a millionaire with our company. And prior to Isagenix, she was an oncology nurse and just really, making an impact in so many people's lives. But she's even making a greater impact now that she's joined our company. She's just a visionary. She is the most amazing at really casting the vision of what we have here in Isagenix and the compensation plan, and just really breaking it down so that it's easy to understand. And I just know that after this call, you guys will be so fired up. Just hearing her, she's just amazing. So thanks again, Casey, and take it away.
Awesome. I will. So Jen, thank you for just, asking me to help out or just really share with you guys. Really, I mean, you have Jennifer, so it's who are you going to have better to be working with? #1 business builder, #1 rank advancer, #1 value pack and roller, like worldwide. So, I mean, just having that access to that kind of leadership and mentorship and following her, you guys are just all set up for so much success. So here is my PowerPoint. I hope you guys can see it, that I'll kind of share, and I'll just start with my story a little bit for you guys. And I know we all come from, different backgrounds of what it is that we do and what it is that we're passionate about. And like Jen said, I was a nurse when I started Isagenix. And I didn't have any sales experience, any network marketing. I was actually really opposed to kind of network marketing. My mom did this thing where she spent like so much money to have so many magnets, like it was like a magnet company. And like, so that was my idea, that I was going to have like products everywhere and have to spend a bunch of money up front of it. But I started just for the product really experience. And I fell in love, 8 days in, and you're already feeling great and you have a glow and people notice. And that's really what happened for me. And being a nurse for kids with cancer, I didn't know like the devastation, in food really, and what was really happening. And I would hear the word organic. I'd be like, oh my gosh, tree hugger. Like that was I see these cleansing people, like they've all lost their mind. And now I literally hug trees, so it's been a great journey. And Jennifer said, Casey, you should really look at this compensation plan. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have a large network. I don't, like the sales. It's just probably not going to be for me. But by the grace of God, Jennifer had I'm going to just mute our lovely, everybody has background. There was a book that was handed to me, and it was the 4-Year Career. And that 4-Year Career book changed my life. And so that's a vision that I want to cast for you guys, and I'm going to touch on a little bit. If you see here, we have this post right here. This was actually by Colleen Zielinski. If you guys know her and see her in the groups, a friend of Jennifer and a six-figure earner, multiple six-figure earner, and, a dentist and somebody who went to school for many years and, to get a career. And this is something that she posted, and just about, join network marketing. This is from the book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And it's about getting paid based on results, getting paid based on production, and that it is that dynamite vehicle where $20,000 to $50,000 per month is not uncommon. And the fact is, though, that it's residual and it's passive. And I did not know anything about residual or passive income. And I don't know about you guys, like I love the fact that we can show somebody how to make $900, like with just sharing with 2 people and duplicating that process. But what got me on a plane to go to an event stay with people that I didn't know, put it on a credit card, money that I didn't have, was because I saw the long-term, like that 4-year career concept. And so it was really fun. I put this picture because I was like, oh my gosh, it was like 4 years later and I was in the Cayman Islands, and I was like, I'm literally on the cover of that book that said that. So that's, if you guys have not read the 4-Year Career, I really encourage everybody to read it, because it'll cast a vision for you. My whole thing is really understanding geometric progression and kind of compounding. And if you think about this concept right here, I look at, a job or getting paid on a one-time sale, like that is not a residual geometric progression effect. But would you rather $1 million right now or a penny that doubles, but only for 30 days and then it stops? So like 1 cent, 2 cent, 4 cent, 8 cent, 16, but then it stops. Well, I would have thought $1 million, surely, like what can a penny do for 30 days? But that little old penny comes to over $5 million in just 30 days because it's compounding itself, it's duplicating itself. And because the way the Isagenix compensation plan is structured, and I'll kind of talk a little bit about that, is that this exact same math that is applying to this, because we don't get paid based on levels, we get paid on our entire organization's re-enter, like this math is happening. And when I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, yes. But what happens sometimes, I think, is in the beginning for the residual to start taking place, if on day 15, you're looking at this penny, you're like, I'm an idiot. I should have taken the $1 million. I'm only at $163 and half of the month is already over. But what happens is then on the tail end, as you keep going, and sometimes I often think that people way overestimate what they should be earning in the very beginning of this for the amount of time that they're putting in, and way underestimate what can start taking place down the road. And so just keeping that, this was my house when I started, so definitely could have used a realtor, right? Didn't have money though to get in a new one. But not even this was not my house. This is a duplex. So I lived in half of it. There's my hubby. He was an original Y of mine to retire him, and he was able to go into reserve. So that's fun. This is my office where I started. So literally when I say anybody can build this business, if I can build this business, anybody can build this business, because this is where I started. So I always just say, not to prejudge what would interest somebody, or, Jennifer, she didn't have a need to build this business. There was no need for money. She wasn't living in the half of the house that I was living in, right? If you kind of look from the outside, but she was looking for something very fulfilling and to serve people and health and fitness and passion. And so just never kind of prejudge what this could be for somebody, and shorten the vision of really casting what the whole thing could be. And now this is where I can get to work and all those goodies. And if you guys saw the presentation from Herb Cepeda, one of the top income earners in Isagenix. I know a dear friend of Tom and Jen, and he talks about why Isagenix and why network marketing. Well, and I would encourage everybody to watch The History of Isagenix by Kathy Coover, where she really pours her heart out about how this company got started, their commitment, being involved in companies who did not do things the right way, some corporate greed, a lot of letdown, is somebody who was in the field like what we're doing. And so she knows what it's like to be exactly where we are, and she went to the top in 3 companies, but they stepped away from it because, again, they were kind of let down. And so when they saw what this product was from John Anderson, and the no compromise and the pure integrity behind that, that's when they decided to step out of retirement to be the ambassador for network marketing, to do things the right way. I was, talking to somebody who swore she would never do network marketing again, who now is, just rocking it in Isagenix. And she was like, it's the company, it's the different, it's the culture. And so really raising your kind of belief in those 2 areas. And that's why events are just so critical, really building this. But to the training and support, I mean, every single day, every night, there's something that you can get on. We're going to talk about the compensation plan, but you really think about timing with online purchasing, online sales, referral marketing. My husband, he does an affiliate type marketing thing. Again, you're paid based on kind of results and production, and you're not paid based on that title. Think about, we're just now starting to have global expansion, just now. I mean, there's companies that have been around for a very long time that are in, 70 countries or something. We're just getting started with it. And so you think about that timing to be perfect, and still such an untapped market even here, in the United States. So you couple all of that with the ability to just free people from physical like pain. And that's what creates this whole massive momentum of this explosive growth. And when you see that penny and you see how it applies to the compensation plan as well, like I could not sleep at night. Like everybody was talking about how great they were sleeping. Well, me and Jen would be like messaging each other at 2 a.m. And we didn't have any of the systems that we have in place now. And something that I've always admired about Jen is the simplicity of it. And I'm not to admit her just insane work ethic, but how simple she always kept it. I remember, she had her first 6-figure month in Isagenix, and she was like, I don't know how I just made over $100,000, this month in Isagenix. This comp plan rocks. But she was really just great at doing this, right? Being a product of the product, just sharing that product story, finding customers, and then identifying people who want to just share the product or be a business builder. And there's a really big key difference between people who just want to be casual sharers and people who want to be like business partners. And so she really taught me to lock arms with people that really want to be business partners, and that it creates that momentum and really for that geometric progression. And it just, because your time is one of your most valuable things that you have. This was something also that I had a concept of, and I'm sure if we're on this call, we don't have this concept of network marketing. We may have used to, but just to really see though the difference, every single business structure looks like a pyramid, right? I mean, you go to any corporation, it's going to be a pyramid structure. I use a nurse because that's what I was. And no matter how hard I worked as a nurse, I was never going to get to the CEO of the hospital like income. It wouldn't have mattered. I could have worked 80 hours a week, 100 hours a week, and I wouldn't have been getting that. I went to work, I got paid. Here you have the executive of nursing who could be sitting in an office like over the entire hospital. She might not be producing. She might actually be, not good at all, but yet their income is still more. And then you have these poor nursing assistants who are like, lifting people, bathing people, wiping people, like really the hardest workers in the nursing kind of network. And they're paid the least. And so, it's all about working smarter and not harder. And this was a book that I got a concept to with the Isagenix compensation plan. About 95% of the population is an employee in a small business. 5% is in big business and investment. Well, 5% of the population controls, 95% of the wealth. And it's because they're playing on the right side of the quadrant. And so when you're an employee, you use your time to work for money. So you're using your limited time to go to work for money. You stop working, you stop getting paid. Maybe you're putting money like in a 401k, or, maybe you get 2 weeks of paid vacation. I know is what I had as a nurse. If I could take it when I wanted it, but I had to show up when I was told, had to do. So that was it. Now, small businesses can end up owning you. There's a lot of risk. There's investment. There's, capital that goes into that. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Well, network marketing, how I started out with that Secrets of the Millionaire Mind about network marketing, it is a form of big business because you're doing something called leverage. So leverage is a concept that changed my life as well. And over here on this right side of the quadrant, you're taking time and you're compounding it, and your money works for you. Well, what's the easiest, fastest way to get in that? I mean, it's something like network marketing, and with a company like Isagenix with consumable products. That's the thing too. If you think about consumable products, people are purchasing every single month. It is people's grocery stores. It is online grocery shopping. Then you have passive and you get into more investment. So that's something that I always cast for people is really how can we, what is that leverage concept? So you take time, one person for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's a 40-hour work week. Simple enough. 10 people at 1.5 hours a week. 75 hours. You guys, if you're thinking about in terms of production, you're already producing 75 hours with just people doing 1.5 hours. Now 20 people doing 1.5 hours for 5 days a week, 150 hours. If you were working off your sole effort, all you have to give out, right? All the good God gave us for this ability and 24 hours a day is 120 hours in a work week off our sole efforts. So I would rather earn 1%, heck, a 0.5%, 0.25% off of 1,000, 10,000 people's efforts than 100% off of my sole effort. That is leverage. And, you know, a friend of mine, Alex Hoffman, who's a millionaire in the company now, he actually worked at corporate and he opened all of like the Latin America. He's been in network marketing for a very long time. Company side, corporate, and field side. And he said, you know, I was making over $500,000. He said, but what I didn't have was my freedom. What I didn't have was my time. And, you know, and I think about that we have people though that go to work for us every day so that we can, you know, do the eat it, love it, share it. And Jennifer Trinkner is masterful at this. You share, they share, repeat. And this, you know, you talk about how does somebody earn over $100,000 in the compensation plan in 1 month? Well, she has mastered the basics, the simplicity of you share, they share, repeat. Because guys, if you do this 5 times, when you see like all these comp plan trainings and things, executive is this done 5 times. That is what executive is. And so it's really simple at its basic. And if you think about, you know anything about network marketing, or you've studied it, or you've been in other companies or anything like that, how there's levels and you have to go wide, and it's like we just go deep, and that is the simplicity of it. So there's so many ways that Isagenix get paid, you know, the qualifying PIBs, we have our monthly, now they're doing so many promo payouts and as you rank advance, but it was this 6% that really excited me about a cycle. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't, $54 is like not a huge deal for me. You know, like even back when I really needed money, I'm like, I don't know how much work I want to do for $54. But it's, again, that compounding effect of that penny. And so that's really what I'm going to try to cast for you guys, and that 10%. So in Isagenix, we have 2 legs. That is it. You have a left leg and you have a right leg. That's all we got, right? So now you have to go wide. Now you get 300 points on one side, 600 points on another side. That is what generates the cycle. Every single product has that point value. So I'm going to take it back though. This is not even really like direct sales, because in direct sales, again, you make a sale, you get paid, it stops kind of there, right? So buy as many sodas as you want for $1, turn around, sell them for $2, knock yourself out, make $5 million, but there's not been a foundation of creating residual. What Isagenix is, and what we're doing, is we're opening up people online vending machines, right? On that left leg and that right leg. Like, we are opening them up online superfood grocery stores where they're just reallocating money anyway. So there's no even additional investment, really, if you think about it. It's just food, something that we're doing. And then anytime anything moves to those vending machines, we earn 6% as consultants, or an additional 10% from our personally enrolled as an executive. And Isagenix does all the work. They do the shipping, the handling, the customer service, the inventory, if any return needed to go through. I mean, they do all of the brunt work. We eat it, love it, share it, and show other people how to eat it, love it, share it. So every single time in those kind of online vending machines, right, when those point values go through, because every product has a point value, it goes and it's just kind of sitting in a vault, right? So we're going to kind of really break that down. So you come into Isagenix and you have a sponsor, right? So a sponsor, be it if you're on a right leg or left leg, your sponsor enrolls you, and there you are. Now, you might see people underneath you who you don't know who they are, because your sponsor, you share a leg with your sponsor, whoever your sponsor is. That's called a binary system. So what your sponsor is doing is in blue, really. And what's cool is that you get to play in that 6% of your sponsor as well. So the customers are going to pay, there's an update that's needed. They're going to pay either the $340 or the $590 or the $1099 for getting their initial packs, right? We have our good, better, best pack, so that's what they're going to pay. We earn the product intro bonus of either $25, $100, or $150. That is what the PIB is called. That's the upfront money. To me, that's kind of left side quadrant money, but again, it will turn over to right side because of the additional. So now you can double those if you do it Monday through Sunday. You can double those to where, you would get an additional income. So example would be, instead of getting $100 for enrolling a value pack and $100. If you do it in the same week, that doubles. So it would be $200 for each pack instead. Your PIB is not a constant figure that I can tell you on what somebody's going to earn, because that is dependent upon what pack somebody's doing and when they are enrolling them, if they're doubling them, if they're, coming in with the ultimate pack. All of that is dependent on that. So somebody can become an associate, though, when they enter in their social, their birthday, and they watch the video, right? All associates that are purchasing 100 points have the ability to bank points in their kind of little vault, right? We sell a little vault. Every product has a point, so it goes in there. Now, consultants actually get to take out the 6%. When you have a customer on your left at 100 points and a customer on your right, that it turns you consultant, and you might be enrolling people on some packs. What are you enrolling? Are you doubling them, etc. On that? But again, now you can play in that 6%. So I'm going to kind of show you the cycles towards the end. So people are enrolling, you're excited, people are saying, girl, you look so good. What pack are you doing? Are you doubling them? The next step, again, which is what our entire compensation plan is based around, that Jennifer is a master at, is getting to manager and helping people get to manager. So 2 people that you have personally enrolled now enroll somebody there, and then they would come all the way down here and enroll here. Now, you get $100 for that. They get the PIBs, but you do, for your first 20 consultants, get $100. And again, so don't let the circles look all weird, because all it is you share, they share, repeating is all we're doing. If somebody does consultant, in their first 60 days, they'll get an additional $250, but for sure they would get $200 regardless of whenever they hit it. And that 60 days is from the time they turn their account to associate. And you guys, all I'm going to do is we are just going to repeat this over and over for the bonus structure. This person enrolled here and here. This person enrolled somebody here and here, right? This person, again, you get the $100 for that. Now this person says, okay, they enroll here and down here. This person enrolls here and down here. So again, that's that binary structure. And sometimes people get confused of, I see a name down there. What does it mean? It's just because it's being enrolled from your sponsor has enrolled somebody on the leg that you came in on with your sponsor. Director is simply somebody that has 6 consultants. So for sure, you would have $400 more because you turn director, 4 more consultants, right? If you do this in your first 120 days, that's an additional $750. Executive means that you have 5 consultants left, 5 right. So again, which pack are you doing? Are you doubling them? That all depends on the, bonus structure too, as far as your PIBs, but your tree ends up looking like this. And again, you might see, somebody in blue pop up below, but for your first 20, you do get those $100. So I'm just going to get to this pretty fast because I think you guys might have a good concept of the comp plan as bonus structure. $180 or 180 days, you get that $1,000. So those are really the only time sensitive bonuses that Isagenix has. Everything else is paid like when you achieve it. And it's just repeating that, you guys. It is you share, they share, repeat. So again, every single spot that you're looking at, look at it like an online grocery store, okay? So people that you have referred to an online grocery store or that has been referred to you through somebody that you referred, et cetera, and that keeps duplicating. And again, it's very consumable, so people are purchasing high orders amounts every month. I mean, their whole families are on it. So whenever there's 600 points on one side and 300 points on another, that is what generates the cycle. And again, I didn't think that $54 was that big of a deal, but if you start compounding it and you think about what it can become, 150,000 points on one side and 75,000 points on another side is what this business center can go to. Okay, so this is like a piece of real estate. This is a massive business center. This is $1 million spot right here that you have. And again, it's that residual aspect. So 25 cycles a week, that's 702,000 in residual income in the 6% that you can take out. Now, Isagenix will let you re-enroll above yourself, but what's fun is as an executive, you get an additional 10% and they'll match you up to 702,000. So this business center is worth 1.4 million in Isagenix. Residual, as you're climbing through your cycle ranks and as you're rank advancing, there's other bonuses that Isagenix pays out to you. Again, it's, you know, just bonus. You're growing. That's awesome. But this is what, like, when I saw this, I was just like, this is amazing. You get to re-enroll, you guys, above yourself. Like, when you get to 250 cycles a week, they will let you open a center above yourself. And remember, what took you, you know, it seemed like forever for me to like get 10 people enroll. And then it's like, I looked last week and it was like 200 people joined my organization in like a short amount of time, in like 2 weeks. You know, I'm sure Jennifer is probably, I can only imagine how many are joining your organization per week. And it's that compounding effect. So what took you forever to seem like 150,000 points on one side and 75,000 on the other, like, your 150,000 is done for you because you are above yourself now. So all you have to do in your second center is 300 points. Every single time you do 300 points, your 600 is automatically done. Depending on if you come off the gates, like building and taking out your points out of your vault, like immediately, you may or may not have like banked volume built up. But like, when I got the concept that once my first center is done, then I get to go my first one. I mean, that was it. And then there's so much pool money, and I'll kind of show you examples of that. But when I was a nurse, I received a $1.50 raise. For 4 years, I received a $1.50 raise. Went to school for 6 years, invested tens of thousands of dollars, and was going to go work for 40 years and going to show up to hopefully have a 401k and then live on half of like what I was living on just to get by anyways, right? And being told like when I had to work. And now though, we're playing in geometric progression with that compounding effect. And we're no longer in arithmetic progression, which is what allows these quantum leaps to just be so massive. You think about your investment, go talk to any business builder, somebody who has a successful business. And, you know, like we'll take Tom's dentist practice, Colleen, you know, who I talked about earlier, her dentist practice. I'm pretty sure their overhead was quite more than $150 to keep that ability to be able to earn 6% and additional 10% and all those bonuses than that 150. We'll say 175 after tax and shipping, depending on what state. But that 100 points is what allows people to play in the compensation plan. I personally write mine off. You can talk with your accountant based on your state, how that goes. But it's like, I'm writing it off too. With this being the whole compensation plan, guys, like, and just the fact that we're duplicating, my question to you is this. 83% of people of your organization is going to be product users based on Isagenix analytics. I think it's a little bit more than even 83%. So I'm going to take that 83% out of these figures. And I'm going to ask you, over time, do you think you can educate 2 people on your left who get it and 2 people on your right who get it? And that just kept duplicating. And I'm going to use only 100 points. And if you guys are like me, you spend way more than 100 points on Isagenix, for sure. But these would be the figures that would keep duplicating if we were just talking about 2 people on your left who got it and 2 people on your right who get it. And not even anything else, but just that. You have 4 people. Each enrolled 4, right? 16, each enrolled 4, 64, each enrolled 4, 256. Tally those all up. You're at 340 people from just your original 4. So I'm not talking about if you were to continue enrolling, which obviously we're all doing that always, but just to give the vision, that's over $50,000 of groceries moving through your online organizations at just 100 points. That would be $2,000 a month in residual passive income, meaning that's what's coming in just from the original 4 that duplicated. Now, take it a step further. You have 256 people who each enrolled 4. Now, that is a quantum leap right there, right? Where it seemed like maybe it took you 3 years to get to 256 people. You know, there are 340 total in the organization. But in that year 4, something powerful can happen. And that would be over $200,000 of products moving through the organization. If it was just the people building the business to keep the bare minimum amount to be active to, you know, build a business, that's over $8,000 a month in residual income. Take it a step further, right? Now, boom, another massive quantum leap. And that's over 800,000 moving through your organization. That's over $32,000 a month in residual income. So, really thinking about that compounding effect, and why I say I think people way overestimate sometimes maybe how fast it should be going in the residual aspect, and way underestimate what can start taking place. Because remember, each of your business center is worth that $702,000 in the 6%, and Isagenix will match you in your 10% to that $702,000. But then you get to re-enroll above yourself, and then you already have one side done, and like the same math applies. And so then you even shorten it by 2/3 to get to these figures the next time. And I'm not like a math person, but yeah, I can understand like two times two, right? I can get that, and I can just see that. So I'm like, you don't have to be great in math, but this is something. I saw this presentation by Hillary Courtney, and it talked about cycles. And if you really think about passive and residual income, so somebody who's cycling one time a week, their annual income, that they would have in Isagenix, again, passive, $2,800. If you had $93,000 sitting in the bank at 3%, that's what you would have to be getting one cycle a week. Let's jump to 10 cycles a week. You would have to have over 900,000 sitting in the bank if the bank was paying you on it, just sitting there, to be creating passive residual, right, of that. So it's like, when you really think about that power of that cycle and how exciting it is, like, what is easier to educate 4 people, well, we'll say 10, right? Because we all have 10 people who eat, right? Because we're definitely going to get to executive. So do we all have 10 people who we know that eat? Do they know 10 people who know that they eat? Yes. And so then we can even compound that effect faster. But like, you really think about how much you would have to sit. And like, when I got this, it just was like, yes was all I could think. And so here we have, these are Jen's earnings. I do believe, let me look at these. Yeah. So it's like, you think about like what can happen from, 2012 all the way to, 2017. And obviously you can go to isagenixearnings.com and say, get in, this is what you earn. I mean, Jennifer, her work ethic's insane, and it's amazing. And, she attracts you incredible business builders that are going to rock it out, and you guys will do the same. But like, this is what's possible. And it's like, when I was like, I play in the same vehicle that she plays in. If she can do $100,000 a month, I can do $100,000. And like, I don't care how long it takes me. Like, I'm going to get to $100,000 a month and build a passive residual income. And it really hit me when I was in an accident, and I went through an injury in my back, and I was bedridden for a while. And to still be earning over $30,000, $40,000, like, not putting a finger on your business, that is freedom. That is leverage. That is security. And like, when I saw that this was a vehicle that could give my husband choice, if I didn't have to go through deployments, if he wanted to retire, it was like, I didn't care like what I had to do or what I had to learn, or it was just like, I was going to do it. And I'm just I messaged Jennifer like 24/7 about just thank you for introducing me to Isagenix. But you see like that compounding effect that can take place. And a lot of that's, bonus structure, PIBs, but I want to show you guys just the power of the cycles. And let's see, I want to share screen. Hold on. Technology is still always a learning curve on that too. You don't have to be good in math. You don't have to be good in technology. You don't have to have a large network to be successful in this business. All right, let's see. Zoom again. Share screen. All right. Okay, so here is my back office. And, sometimes I'll hear people, or they're like, oh man, I'm down 10 cycles, or I hit 20, but now I'm back down to, 10. I'm like, oh my gosh, like my cycles can jump 100, like it's all relative, right? Like you look at any business, I'm sure there's higher months and lower months and seasons. It's a cyclical based on if you're playing in the leadership pools, which that's a whole other presentation, you guys, to understand leadership pools. But again, you share, they share, repeat is what creates the leadership pool. So focus on that. But to see, I mean, that you can make, $50,000 in a leadership check, like Jennifer, I mean, that's incredible. So it took a while to gain momentum. And if you think about like a plane taking off, Eric Worre does a really good job on this presentation. But like what would happen if you start, stop, it never gets up off the ground, but then once it gets off the ground, it can coast a little bit. It can use the wind. It can use the leverage, that it's created, and it can coast for a little bit if it needs to, right? But it still needs gas. It still needs fuel that you would have to recharge, and then you take off again. And so that's what's so great though in the flexibility of doing this. And so, the February isn't, but it's like, I was never going to get to 40,000 to 50. I mean, there's almost $60,000 like as a nurse. And again, like I am so committed to going into, to doing $100,000 a month. And even that I have that possibility, like I know that I'm going to be a $1 million a year earner, not just somebody who accumulated $1 million. It took me about 4.5 years to accumulate $1 million in Isagenix total. But like last year alone, I earned over like $540,000 of that. And again, I was going through a lot, like a recovery period for a lot of things in life. And so I didn't have the gas was not full throttle for me. But I had full throttle for, 4 years. You talk about that 4-year career. That's powerful. So just see the cycles. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 1, 3, 4, 2, 1, 1, and back down to 0. This isn't working. I should do it. Oh no. 1, 3, 4, back down to 0. Cycles take time, but they're creating passive and residual. And Isagenix has such a bonus structure. Now, this is when I got to executive. So you can see a very big jump because of bonus structures when I got to executive from this February to March. And this too, you guys, this is in December, I met a gentleman and he casted a vision for me of belief, of vision, of commitment, and applying my faith in this, and that it is going to happen because I made the commitment to it, and just to have faith and to couple that with all the action that I was taking. And he was like, you can, if your belief would go up, you could, and yourself especially, he said that you could double your income in 90 days. And I was like, it's like, I just believed it for the first time, like really, like I conceived it more so than, kind of fake it till you make it or whatnot, that saying. And it was, and that was a thing. And that's something I always saw from Jennifer, was just that belief, that, it really, that's what it takes, you guys. So just whatever you have to do, go to work on your belief that if one person can do it, anybody can do it. I mean, you guys saw my office when I started, right? What was that? And then you'll see, okay, well, how does somebody, have a $57,000 month in Isagenix? Well, what is that? Well, if I look at this, right? So of my PIBs, which is how majority of money is made, upfront money in the beginning, that $175, and that's half. So if you're doubling them, then it's like what, 350? Is that 175 plus 175? You don't have to be good at math to do this business. But that other total, that is like executive pool money that comes out. And then that executive match is that additional 3,000. So what sometimes can seem like that upfront, and I consider almost like paychecks a form of, slavery in a bit. Like we just keep coming up. They pay us just enough to keep quitting and just coming back. Like, that every 2 weeks, that upfront. And what happens though is that reverse happens. So you'll see again, executive match, and then that other leadership pool money. So, I mean, if Jen showed her, I'm sure it's even like more, it's just amazing. So, as far as like the possibility, but once again, like, at one point 150 cycles was my highest, 150 cycles was my highest. And now it's like, I don't go below 150. And so I think that that's something, just on the journey, there's going to be times where you feel like it's not happening, or it's not going fast enough, or we're looking at like what's not happening, or we're in comparison, or, but kind of just step back. And if you've made the commitment and the decision, and I don't feel like people realize what they're sitting on. I know they don't. Because to have choice and freedom and time freedom, and really to create your flexibility in your schedule, and to get around this culture and this company. And if Eric Hoover and, you know, Jim and Kathy and what they stand for and where this company is going. And, you know, I mean, Jen, she spent time, you know, on cruises with Jim and Kathy, and, you know, Eric with the Start Group. And these are legacy spots. You guys can will those spots to your children. You guys can will residual income spots to your children. What is a more powerful life insurance policy? This one pays over and over and over again. You know, what is a health insurance? You know, it didn't matter what it cost or where I had to go. If, you know, when I was going through my healing, or if insurance didn't cover something, it didn't matter. I was going to just do what was best for me. And so I hope that guys kind of just like cast the vision of like a cycle for you, so you can get really excited about one cycle. Because if you can do one, you can do two. If you can do two, you can do four. And again, it's going to be a fluctuating thing sometime, but you know, if you just stay the course, I just know if I can do it, absolutely anybody can do it. Just looking back on my journey, and looking back, and I'm sure Jennifer can say this too, I deserve to have enjoyed it more, had like a little bit more fun, not stress some of the things, or things that used to maybe like stress me out a little bit, or my gosh, a return, or, you know, something having like some detox, and I'm like getting stressed, because it's like, oh my gosh, just focus on the things that you're doing, that you're building, that's working, because you're doing it, you've made the decision. So just roll up your sleeves and just use the tools, follow Jennifer's lead. There's nobody better than to follow her lead and those systems. And it's why she, you know, is where she is. So I hope that helped a little bit.
That was so awesome, Casey. Thank you so much. I wanted to just open it up for you guys. If you have any questions, just for a minute or two, while we have Casey on the line.
I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna refer to Jennifer for that answer.
It still blows me away, the opportunity that we have here. And you're right. I think people just don't realize what they have. And you said it perfectly. This is the biggest, most valuable piece of real estate, you guys, that you're sitting on here. It is absolutely amazing. And I feel like if people really understood the residual income and the possibilities, they would go through brick walls to get it. You know, they would absolutely go through brick walls. So anybody want to, you will have to mute your or unmute your line if you have any questions.
And Jen, like, what would you just say to like a difference? I mean, you know, you were already extremely well off with, you know, everything that you guys had done. And like, what's the difference that you see between like a residual income asset like this versus like Tom and a successful business practice?
Well, you know, no matter what, if he's not there, the money's not coming in, right? So when we go on vacation and he wasn't working, we weren't getting paid. Now we go on vacation and we're paying for our trip and earning money on that vacation. That would have never happened, you know? And when I started, I just kind of set some goals, and I said, he thought I was crazy, y'all. He thought, you're crazy. I'm like, I'm going to replace your income in under 3 years. He was like, yeah, he laughed at me. He thought I was joking. I'm like, no, I've never been more serious in my life. And so when it started to happen, he was like, oh my gosh. So then he really started to take me serious. And then I started to set some bigger goals. I'm like, okay, now I'm going to earn $1 million a year. And he didn't question that, because he knew by that point what we had here. And, you know, I want him to retire. He's so good at what he does. So I don't know if that'll ever happen. But you know, it's just absolutely amazing, you guys. And you don't have, just like Casey said, I am horrible in math. I will tell you, I am horrible. I mean, I'm so bad. You don't have to be good at math. You don't have to know this industry. I don't even have a college degree. What I do have is passion and drive and a passion for helping people get their health back and to be financially free. So, and my work ethic is really good. I have really good habits, and I've been very, very consistent for 6 years. But I made a decision, just like you, Casey. When you make a decision to do something, I know for me, I'm going all in. I'm not just, you know, sticking a toe in. I'm going all in because I saw the opportunity here, and I wasn't going to go slow. I wanted to go fast, and it's much more fun to go fast and change more lives. And I don't care how many jobs, you're trading time for money. You're doing a job and you're earning an income, you know, just like Casey was. You're never going to exceed that CEO or that, you know, that doctor. You're just not, no matter what. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I'm always here. I know I have a lot of new people on the line that are actually just getting started on their products and having such great success. I'm so excited. So the fact that you're even open to hearing about the opportunity, because I know I wasn't. I didn't come into this for the business. I was like, I'm not doing that. No, not. Mm-mm. And, you know, I got the products in my body and it just flowed from me. I just couldn't shut up. And I was actually verbal vomiting Isagenix for a long time until I learned how to share this effectively. So anyway.
Who says do a handstand? There's a reason behind it. Just be like, all right, I ain't even asking. I'm just going to do it. Like, it works, right? I mean, #1 business builder worldwide. Rank Advancer worldwide. Enroller worldwide of the most valuable retention pack. The systems work. Like, you don't have to recreate the wheel. Use the tools, and enthusiasm will always weigh above any knowledge that you have. The tools, I call it like it's a dummy proof system. If we can just get out of our own way and be like, okay, keep it simple and be consistent. Simple and consistent, simple and consistent. And Jennifer is just a master at teaching that and doing that and leading the way. So you guys are just super blessed. So I'm excited for you all. It's an amazing journey. And you're just going to bless so many lives with help. And, you know, as somebody who was a nurse for kids with cancer, that's how it started for me. Health is everything. I don't care how much time and money you have if you don't have health, you know. So it's just such a powerful mission and purpose to be attached to. And Isagenix, they keep getting better. They keep raising the bar. And I don't think that there's any better time to be getting started right now with Isagenix, with everything that's taking place and global expansion and technology. So you guys are in the right place at the right time with amazing leadership and amazing company. So enjoy the journey. It's fun.
Awesome. Thank you, Casey.
You're welcome.
Thank you all for taking the time today. I hope that that was helpful for you, and I'm always here. So let's rock this out. Let's change some lives.
Yay! And you said, was there any questions? Then I started talking again. Was there any questions?
Anybody?
Yeah. Well, then I hope you guys can't sleep tonight, because then it clicked. And then you're going to be doing e-shots at 10 p.m. E-shots are going to be 100 points alone in e-shots. So, all right. Bye, guys.
All right. Bye.